I want to try to get the menus going now for my site. And we've looked at a few different ways to do them. This time I'm going to show you the ASP menu control. So the ASP menu control can be configured two ways. It can be configured to use an external file or a sitemap for its information, or it can be configured internally, kind of like a list menu. And that's the way we're going to configure it internally. Again, I'm going to do a lot of cut and pasting to make this go, but I'll explain what I'm doing as we're going along. So I want to get here in the menu div and replace the word with the actual ASP menu control. And I'm going to give it the name tool menu. And then I can highlight it and configure it here. But for the few things that we're going to do, I'm just going to do it manually. I'll explain the commands as I'm doing them. So when I look at the menu control, I've added orientation horizontal. That makes it a horizontal menu instead of a vertical menu. I've also added this indentation for submenus of 16 pixels, and you'll see those. And then I've set a CSS class here. Inside of the menu control, so here's the open control, here's the close of the control, I have items. And inside of the items, I have menu items. And each menu item is a button across the top that you click on. So here there will be three. There will be home. I'll need to change these. A view states, there'll be an admin one. And then you can also nest menu items. So within ASP menu item for admin, there is a menu item for add the new state, edit the state, and one for manage roles or manage the users. And then a submenu of manage users is new role and new user. So here is the open for admin and the close for admin. This is a single button. This is a single button. This is nested. Here's the open and the close. And then here are the items nested within there. So it's going to go 3 levels deep. So without styling, the menu looks like this. There's my home button. Here's a view states. Here's an admin. A couple of those buttons. And this one drops out. So a couple of things here. I need to clean these words up and make them match my site. And then I need to style the menu to make it look more like I want it to look. So now if I look at styling for this, I have a container or a menu container that goes from one side to the other all the way across. And it has 3 things in it. It has the menu, it has a search box, and a login status. So I have 3 divs inside of this one container div, and I need to style this. So if I look at the HTML, or the ASP, here's my menu container that goes all the way across, and if I open it up, it has the menu, and the menu has the menu. It also has the search div that will eventually contain a search box, and a login status div that will eventually contain the login status. If I'm going to style those, I'll come back here. The menu container is the one that goes all the way across. So I'm going to set some options for it. Clear both is important because just above it, we have 3 divs inside of a container div. Clear both just kind of clears all that out and starts over with a fresh block item to come across. I set the background color to be the same as the menu color, so this will all be seamless in the end. And I put a border just across the bottom. So the container div has a border around it. The header container has a border across the bottom. So all I need is a border across the bottom there for my division. And I did some more of this box sizing, just so any padding or anything like that doesn't mess up my percentages. It all stays contained. All right, so that's the menu container. And then the menu is this div that actually holds the menu, or the tool menu. It has very simple styling. It's just display it in block and float it left, so everything bumps into each other. And then for the tool menu, this appears as a list. If I view the page source and I go to the tool menu, it appears as an unordered list with list items. So I'm essentially styling a list. So I set the list style to none, so there's no bullets or anything like that. I set the background color, some of those options. Then for the list items that are anchors or hyperlinks, I'm doing these particular things. And just setting a little border on the right. And that little border on the right just gives me that little gray, just a little division. When I hover over one of these list items that is a link, I'm changing the background color, and I'm also changing the text color. So it gets a little lighter and the text turns red. Then this level 1 and level 2, if I look at my page source, I can see this first level of menu items is called level 1. That would be these. These are level 2. And then there's even a level 3 if I wanted to style it. And I'm just adding some extra padding to bump things over and move them around. And as I'm going down to my next level, I'm just setting a left, right, and bottom border just to give it some distinction. Left, right, and bottom borders. So using the menu control like this is not too difficult. Getting it styled correctly and getting it to look the way you want it to look could take a little bit more time. So that's the ASP menu control. And all that we have left to do are just change these so they match our actual website, what we're doing on our website. And after I spend some time getting the infrastructure of my site ready, so I will have an admin folder with a default page in it, a customers folder with a default page in it, and a sales folder with a default page in it. Then I can update my menu items to reflect those pages. And after that, when I look at it, I can see my menu items, and they are taking me to the places that I want to go. So my menu seems to be working well. Now, as I develop subpages, I can go in and create submenus underneath these, and we'll do that as we move through the project.